Hello Elvis fans. This is going to be the first video in a series of videos that I am calling Elvis Decoded, Debunked. I don't know how many of you have ever read Patrick Lacey's book Elvis Decoded, but it is a book where he did some research and came to the conclusion that Elvis died on August 16th, 1977. I'm reading his book now, and I've got to tell you, I don't know how he came to that conclusion. Wow. One of the many things that has always made me think Elvis is still alive is all of the discrepancies in the stories that everybody told about what happened. There have been numerous stories told, and none of them seem to match each other. Well, Mr. Lacey has came up with more discrepancies than I even knew about. It's kind of mind-blowing, really. So what I have done, I have his book pulled up on my computer screen here, and I'm going to have to pick a section per video because this is going to take a while. How he can come up with so many discrepancies and admit that they're discrepancies and come to the conclusion that he came to is beyond me. So I'd like to start where Mr. Lacey says, what happened when Ginger Alden found the body? Alright, these are the stories that he has discovered from newspapers, articles, people that were there. So I'm just going to rush through some stuff here. From the Commercial Appeal, which is a Memphis newspaper, Ginger rushed downstairs and alerted the maid and Al Strada. Strada got Joe Esposito, and they went back upstairs to the bedroom. So in this account, Ginger ran downstairs for help, and Joe Esposito and Al Strada came back upstairs together to check on Elvis. Alright, the next account is Ginger summoned help from Joe and Dr. Nicopolis, who came up to help. Now we all know Dr. Nicopolis never went upstairs. He met the ambulance outside and rode in the back of the ambulance to the hospital. He was never upstairs to help administer anything on this body. Okay, the next account. Joe Esposito and Dr. Nick got to the Graceland master bedroom. Like I say, Dr. Nick was never upstairs. This is known. But this was one of the stories that was told from somebody who screwed up the stories. In the next account, Ginger ran to the telephone, called downstairs for help. Joe Esposito and Patsy Presley raced up the stairs to the bedroom. Now this time there was no mention of Al Strada. Here we've got Patsy and Joe going upstairs to help Elvis. The next account, Ginger calls downstairs. Alstrada answers the phone and came rushing up with Joe right behind him. In the next account, Ginger walks into the bedroom, picks up the phone, calls the kitchen, talks to Joe Esposito, and he comes upstairs to help. In the next account, Ginger did not walk to the bedroom. She reached for the telephone next to the commode and called downstairs to get help. In the next account, it says Ginger called downstairs and asked who's on duty. And Pauline Nicholson supposedly answered, who was a maid, and said Alstrada. In the next account, Ginger calls downstairs and Nancy Rooks answers the call, who was a cook at Graceland. In the next account, I mean, this is crazy. Ginger calls downstairs on the phone, asks who's on duty, to Mary Jenkins. She says Al. Now, in the movie This Is Elvis, where Johnny Hara reenacted what happened that day, it shows in that movie Joe Esposito and Alstrada are in the jungle room when they get the call from Ginger. Joe Esposito writes in his book that Mary Jenkins answered the call. Okay, let's move on to the next part here. The next part, Al goes up by himself and then calls Joe from the bathroom phone. Then it says Al called out to the office. Joe came up with Patsy Presley. So in this scenario, we've got Joe Esposito arriving upstairs with Patsy after Alstrada was already there. This particular part implies that Joe was in the office behind Graceland when he got the call from Alstrada. Then it says Joe called Vernon in his office. Patsy Gamble and Sandy Miller were with Vernon, and the two women helped Vernon up the stairs. So we have those three arriving together. Now David Stanley states that he also came up to the bathroom in his book. And he says he came up, he saw Joe, Al, and Charlie Hodge gathered around Elvis. Elvis was lying in a fetal position. Joe turned Elvis's body over and began working on Elvis as paramedics moved in to help. Now remember, the two paramedics that were with unit number 6 both said it was not Elvis on that bathroom floor. So that's important to remember. Now this particular account suggests that Joe did administer help to Elvis until approximately 2:33 p.m. Now, it also suggests that Joe did not turn Elvis's body over until this time. contradicting the other accounts where Joe said he turned the body over immediately upon arriving to the bathroom. There's about a 13-minute gap, the two stories, when he turned the body over. In the next account, Ginger called on the intercom, not the phone by the toilet, not the phone where she walked to the bedroom, but she called on the intercom and asked if Ricky, Al, or one of the other bodyguards was down there. In this particular scenario, Mrs. Rooks answered the intercom. Rooks told Ginger that Al Strada was not there, that he had gone to Walgreens. Rooks then went upstairs. So this time the cook went upstairs, saw Elvis's body on the bathroom floor after entering the area from the rear dressing room. Remember, there's a staircase that leads downstairs from behind the dressing room. Where Elvis could have sneaked out. Anyway, and then returned downstairs just as Strada was arriving. She then sent Strada upstairs. In the next scenario, Al went downstairs seeking help. And at that time, Joe Esposito arrived from the back office, not the jungle room. Are you people as confused as I am right now? Okay, that's just a few scenarios of... That's just one small area. This is just... All we're talking about right here is who came up to help. Who called downstairs to get the help. Who answered the phone. Talking about a very few minute gap. Now, you're going to find that we have huge areas of stories that are nothing but discrepancies where people couldn't keep their stories straight. Joe couldn't even decide if he found Elvis in the bed or the bathroom, if you remember. Somehow Mr. Lacey came to the conclusion that Elvis is dead from this book. He wrote it. So as we go through this book, you're going to find that there's no way that he could have came to that conclusion. There's no way. I have asked Mr. Lacey to debate me. I sent him some emails. I asked him if he'd be willing to debate on radio, and he responded by blocking me from sending any more emails. I mean, if this is the kind of information that he has, I can understand why he would not want to debate. I mean, all he can do is tell us there are discrepancies. We already know that. I didn't know there were that many. He is actually supporting our case. Because his whole book is full of discrepancies like this. There's also some discrepancies about the visit to the dentist on the night of the 15th. And we're going to hit that with a video too. But this is video number 1. We're out of time. And we're going to get to video number 2, because this is going to be a lot of fun. So I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And until then, if you get a chance, read this book. You're really going to enjoy this. And you're going to wonder how he came to the conclusions that Elvis was dead. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.